The crucial vote could come this week. President Trump fighting to get his own party on board amid fierce opposition.
It's a very, very narrow path, but I think we're going to get there.
And a huge day at the Supreme Court. Will they rule on the travel ban? And is one justice about to step down?
Raging wildfires, nearly 24 burning across the West, hundreds of families evacuating, this man trying to battle a blaze with water from his pool. Homes already destroyed. Now fears strong winds will fan the flames. And the new warnings about that deadly triple-digit heat.
ABC News exclusive. A juror in the Bill Cosby trial speaks out on camera for the first time.
I thought he was guilty.
But you didn't always feel that way?
No.
What changed his mind inside those grueling 52 hours of deliberation, and the one thing they vowed not to talk about, only on GMA.
And the sweetest swing. Jordan Spieth defying the odds with his sudden death 60-foot shot. The crowd going wild. What he did that only Tiger Woods has done before.
Live in Times Square, this is GMA with Robin Roberts, George Stephanopoulos, and Michael Strahan.
Good morning, America. Great to have George back.
Good to be back, thank you.
How about that great shot?
Boy, you think of Jordan Spieth, let's show it one more time. We could, like we were just saying, we could watch this all day long. And he's normally such a cool customer, but amazing what he did right after.
And the reaction with the caddy.
That was so
priceless.
great.
Yeah.
We're going to have more on that coming up, but it's a very busy morning in Washington. We're going to look live right now at the Supreme Court. Summer recess starts there today after the justices hand down some final decisions. The big one, what will they say about Trump's travel ban? All this amid speculation that Justice Kennedy may retire. That would be huge. President focused his tweets on Russia over the weekend, taking a new tack, appearing to admit Russia interfered in our election for the first time, but now he blames President Obama for not doing more. And it's what could be a make-or-break week for Obamacare repeal. The showdown is in the Senate. The GOP still short of votes. And today, the Congressional Budget Office is going to reveal its score, how much the bill will cost, how many millions will lose insurance coverage. A lot coming up this week. Our congressional correspondent, Mary Bruce, starts us off with all the latest from Capitol Hill. Good morning, Mary.
Good morning, George. Well, by the end of the day, we are likely to know how many Americans could stand to lose coverage and how premiums could be impacted. But this report card is likely to complicate this race to negotiate. Republican leaders have just a few days to wheel and deal with members of their own party. They are barreling towards a self-imposed deadline. And this morning, the list of Republicans voicing concerns is growing. With the clock ticking, President Trump is cautiously optimistic that Senate Republicans will pass their health care plan.
I don't think they're that far off, famous last words, right? But I think we're going to get there.
But members of his own party aren't so sure.
We should not be voting on this next week.
Republicans can afford to lose just 2 votes, but already 5 have said they are not on board. And at least 5 others have serious concerns. Conservatives say the bill doesn't go far enough to repeal Obamacare.
The Obamacare subsidies in this bill are actually greater under the Republican bill than they are under the current Obamacare law. That is not anywhere close to repeal.
During the campaign, candidate Trump vowed not to touch Medicaid.
I'm also very concerned about the Medicaid cuts and what it means to our most vulnerable citizens.
During the campaign, candidate Trump vowed not to touch Medicaid.
Save Medicare, Medicaid, and Social Security without cuts.
The Senate bill is projected to slash spending on Medicaid by $800 billion. But the White House insists this bill keeps the president's promise.
We don't see them as cuts. It's slowing the rate of growth in the future and getting Medicaid back to where it was.
But at least one Republican governor disagrees.
That over a 10-year period, Medicaid funding will be significantly curtailed.
And across the aisle, Democrats aren't budging.
We are doing everything we can to fight this bill because it's so devastating for the middle class.
Republicans are now scrambling to negotiate with both opposite ends of their party. The challenge is, can they strike that balance? Or will any concessions made to moderates just anger and frustrate the conservatives and vice versa? Robin, can they find that middle ground to finally push this over the finish line?
That is the big question, Mary. Thank you. As George mentioned, President Trump's tweets focus on Russia this weekend, appearing for the first time to accept the fact that Russia interfered in the election, but now blaming President Obama for not doing more to stop it. Our senior White House correspondent, Cecilia Vega, has more on that story. Good morning, Cecilia.
Hi, Robin. Good morning to you. President Trump has had many different views about Russia's election meddling. He said it could be Russia, it could be China, it could be lots of other people, but now he seems to be pointing the finger directly at Moscow. President Trump now seems to concede what 17 intelligence agencies previously concluded: Russia did indeed interfere with the election. But his strategy: blame President Obama.
Well, I just heard today for the first time that Obama knew about Russia a long time before the election, and he did nothing about it.
The shift comes after a Washington Post report detailing Russia's role in the election and President Obama's struggle to stop them. President Trump tweeting, "Since the Obama administration was told way before the 2016 election that the Russians were meddling, why no action? Focus on them, not T." And now it's not just the White House pointing fingers.
Why didn't you inform candidate Trump? I know you thought Hillary would win, but how could you not reveal important information about Russia hacking?
But Democrats, too.
He should have spoken out to the American people and said, this is what Russia is doing. Russia has better stop it.
And it's not just Russia that has President Trump's attention. 6 months on the job, and he's still tweeting about the election and his opponent. Writing this weekend, Hillary Clinton colluded with the Democratic Party in order to beat crazy Bernie Sanders. Is she allowed to so collude? Unfair to Bernie. A lot of tweets this weekend, but today President Trump meets with India's Prime Minister right here at the White House. They are expected to issue statements together, but they are not expected to be taking questions from the full White House press corps. George, the president has only had one full White House press conference since taking office.
Yeah, it has been a long time. Cecilia, thanks very much. Let's get more on all this now from our chief White House correspondent, Jonathan Karl, our chief political analyst, Matthew Dow. Welcome to you both. And John, let me begin with you. You know, so much at stake for the president right here on health care. He is up against a wall right now of Republican opposition, and it's hard to figure out exactly what he's doing about it.
Well, I do know this, George. I am told the president made calls over the weekend to some of those wavering senators, getting directly involved, at least with the lobbying push, if not with the negotiations over changing the bill. And I'm told he'll be doing more of that in the coming week. Of course, the stakes are incredibly high for the president. He wants to see this pass, and he wants to see it pass soon.
Matthew Dowd, stakes incredibly high for the president, for the American people as well.
Absolutely. I think what we've learned is even when you hold all the levers of power in Washington, which the Republicans and the president do, an unpopular president can't get an unpopular Congress to pass an unpopular policy. And the problem with this is if this fails, all his other policies, tax reform is related to this, because if you don't get health care, you can't get tax reform. Infrastructure becomes more difficult. This really is that line that if he can't get over, it's going to be very hard for him to pass anything.
Meantime, the president simply can't help himself on those tweets about Russia.
No, he has an obsession on this. And I was thinking about this. The one person that questions Donald Trump's legitimacy the most for holding his office seems to be Donald Trump. Donald Trump constantly raises questions about his own electoral victory, about whether or not Russia interfered with it. And I'm reminded of a quote: is to cure one obsession, you usually have to adopt another obsession. So Donald Trump would be much better off adopting another obsession that was more beneficial for the public.
Meantime, John Karl, it doesn't appear he's going to do that. And this appearance from the president that he's now accepting that Russia interfered in our election now puts the ball back in his court. What is he going to do about it?
Yeah, he's been all over the map on this, and his tweets over the weekend, I counted at least 4 tweets related to Russia or the Russia investigation, only 2 on Obamacare. But he does now say that he does appear to be accepting the fact that the Russians interfered, and he's criticizing the Obama administration or President Obama for not doing more about it, which raises that question: what is he going to do about it? You don't see much activity on that front.
No, but they are facing a possible the Senate vote on sanctions for Russia. The president resisting that.
Well, the president believes that the administration's position is that kind of hems them in, that they want the flexibility. They have, by the way, stepped up sanctions on Russia unilaterally, so they aren't opposed totally to the idea of sanctions. They're just opposed to the Congress telling them what to impose.
John Karl, Matthew Dodd, thanks very much.
All right, George, now to that big day at the Supreme Court, the last day of the session before the summer recess begins. The court handing down its final ruling today, and as we mentioned, it could also take action on President Trump's travel ban. So let's go to Terry Moran, who covers the Supreme Court for us and is there right now. And let's start with that travel ban. Terry?
Good morning, Robin. This is a huge day for President Trump up here, and one of his signature policies, which has had a really rough go of it in the courts so far. Now the Supreme step in, and the real issue is, does President Trump, as a national security matter, have the authority to ban immigration from these 6 predominantly Muslim countries, or is that really an unconstitutional Muslim ban? The lower courts have stopped this policy from going into effect. They pointed to the president's own tweets and words saying that is unconstitutional, what he really wants to do there. So the court could do a couple of things. They could take this case, agree to hear it next fall. In the meantime, keep blocking that policy from going into effect. That'd be a huge defeat for the president. Or they could take the case and allow the policy to go into effect, say, we'll see how it works in the real world. That'd be a victory for the president. Or they could say, you know what, we aren't taking this case, keep fighting it out in the lower courts, and it would not go into effect. So that would be a defeat as well.
It would. And there's growing speculation that Justice Kennedy could be announcing his retirement.
Oh, this would be huge, Robin. Justice Kennedy, this in many ways is the Kennedy court. He's the swing vote for more than a decade on crucial issues: abortion, affirmative action, the civil rights of gay and lesbian Americans, including marriage. He has been the crucial vote. If he decides to retire, and there are signs that he would, it would be a war for this court, like nothing seen in the past 30 years since the nomination of Robert Bork was defeated. And Justice Kennedy took his seat.
That's right.
Robin?
All right, Terry, thank you.
Everything changes in Washington if he retires. It would be just seismic. We're going to stay on top of that today. But we're going to turn now to those massive wildfires in the West, forcing hundreds of families to evacuate. In Utah, nearly 1,000 firefighters are battling the largest active wildfire in the country. It's already consumed more than 40,000 acres. ABC's Matt Gutman is on the ground in Panguitch, Utah, with the latest. Good morning, Matt.
Hey, good morning, George. Officials are calling this fire unprecedented, saying they never expected to see it grow this big, this fast, so early in the fire season, already consuming an area larger than Washington, D.C. They have 1,100 firefighters here already, but say they need more. This morning, fast-moving flames in Utah forcing more than 1,500 from their homes. More than 1,100 firefighters keeping an all-out assault, battling this nearly 43,000-acre fire.
Relatives on the west side of the valley lost everything.
More than a dozen homes destroyed as firefighting planes and choppers battle the blaze from above.
A fire of this magnitude with this much energy out there just does what it wants.
Much like several of the 21 wildfires burning across 8 states, officials blaming the mixture of triple-digit heat, bone-dry terrain, and high winds for the fires. In California...
Oh, this is bad. Look at this. Holy moly.
To feel the heat.
Oh, my God.
This brush fire near Los Angeles, driven by wind and heat, racing up hillsides. More than 750 acres burned as the fire jumped a highway. Motorists trying to keep that towering thundercloud of smoke in their rearview mirror. Officials had to shut down a major highway, the fire threatening dozens of homes. This resident frantically trying to battle the blaze using water from his pool. In Arizona, the governor declaring a state of emergency. The Fry fire there chewing up more than 35,000 acres. This time-lapse video captures the flames consuming this hillside.
We want people to know to be ready and to get out.
Now, there are red flag warnings here today, which means more heat and more wind could make this fire again into inferno. Firefighters talking about 100-foot-high flames, and the concern today is that that wind will push that fire back towards residential areas. Robin.
All right, Matt, we're going to keep on this. Go to Ginger now with new fire warnings across the Southwest. Ginger?
And Robin, Matt is exactly right. It's going to be the wind. As we get rid of some of the heat and suppress some of it, you still see red flag warnings. But a place like Phoenix, Arizona has been 110 degrees plus today for 10 days in a row. So the heat is real. And then you go ahead and put on the critical fire danger, not just in the Rockies, parts of Idaho, eastern Oregon, but down through Las Vegas and into Arizona, because that ridge is going to break down. The heat, yes, still very hot today, 118 Needles, 115 Yuma. But as that cold front slips through, that's where the wind comes from. It also is where the cooler air comes from. Burbank, 111 on Sunday.
Buy your car even if you don't buy ours.
We be Sedibo.
We be Sedibo.
We be Sedibo.
We be Sedibo. We be Sedibo. We be Sedibo.
No, we cool. I got you.
Okay. It's the right thing to do.
Low humidity and low temperatures will produce a couple of 5-star days around here, so get out and enjoy yourself. It's been a while since we've had a week this nice. We've got temperatures rising by the end of the work week, and we'll be tracking the chance for some showers and storms starting on Friday with those highs pushing above 90 degrees. So here's a look at your Storm Watch 7 10-day forecast. Isolated rain threat on Friday. We've got a chance for Saturday, Sunday, even Monday, and now even on the 4th itself could see a few passing storms.
That ABC News exclusive, one of Bill Cosby's jurors speaking out on camera why he thinks Cosby should have been found guilty.
And the 14-year-old trapped dangling from a Six Flags ride. Watch how she was saved.
Sharon was given a few months to live if her cancer wasn't treated.
I was diagnosed with advanced non-small cell lung cancer, which I thought meant chemo. But a biomarker test showed I